How good did that feel?
Felt great. Felt great. Like the way the whole, well, these last 48 hours have been with the way we played, grinding out last night, going overtime, losing. Disappointment with that, then coming into this game, the back and forth, just grinding out mentality we had and resilience we showed to even give ourselves a chance, in the second half was impressive. It reminds you to keep the big picture perspective on what we're trying to do, but also, realize what it takes to continue to try to win at this level. And I just like the way we fought. Everybody contributed down the stretch leading up to the shot to give us, a chance. Defensively, Loon and Otto were awesome. Protecting the paint, flying around, rebounding, blocking shots. JP hit 2 big shots in the fourth. Wiggs came in, was posting up everywhere. You get a stop, 5 seconds left, and then you just try to end it. So it was a good vibe. We needed it, obviously. We got to try to build on it and bring some joy back.
Did you know exactly what you were going to do, what spot you were going to get to there? And did you ask Steve not to bring help, not to bring a screener? Did you just kind of want to go isolation there?
No, it was a play that we drew up to try to keep it a little bit more simple than we did last night, where we had a lot of action and a lot of screens and a lot of traffic. I was kind of the main option, but not the first option, if that makes sense. No, tonight, where obviously I didn't move until I went to go get the ball, and we tried to create some distractions that hopefully, get me to space. And then from there, it's just staying calm and knowing you have 5 seconds to get one shot up and just trying to get a good look and live with it. And thankfully I did.
Steve said you live by the motto, the next one's going in. And I think the way he put it was you understand the power of that motto. Can you sort of elaborate on that? And in the context of starting out, 0 for 10 tonight, and then sitting here with having hit the game winner?
I've had that my whole life, just the confidence and work that you put in. But Coach McKillop at Davidson taught me next play mentality is what I call it, and still live by it. Clay talked about it with the way he shoots, but it's the same way, thought process in terms of no matter how the game's going, stay locked in. The work will show eventually. And the worst thing you could do is shy away from that next opportunity, no matter what it is, whether it's taking a shot, whether it's staying engaged defensively, trying to play, make, whatever it is, stay locked in, knowing that you know what you're doing out there, no matter how the game's going. So try to live by it. There's a reason I joked about it before, but the reason I can go 0 for 11 from 3 in one game and come back the next game and have a breakout type performance, because again, the work will show eventually.
When the ball goes down, are you at some moment realizing it's your first ever walk off? When did that hit you? And is it sort of amazing to you that that's your first ever, and I guess since high school, that you have not had one like that?
It's just how the game kind of goes. I hit some shots that 0.1, 0.4, 1 second, whatever it is, big shots, but it's a different feeling when it's the walk-off. It's good to know what that feels like finally. I didn't realize it until Raymond and Brett played the best defense of the night, trying not to let me go through the tunnel. It's been 7 years since they've been tested like that, and they failed last time I heard with Andre in Atlanta. And he got all the way to the locker room, and they weren't going to let that happen again. So that's when I realized and kind of came to.
Were you really going to run into the tunnel?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Is he just too physically imposing to get around, or what?
Yeah, well, he brought back up.
What? There was obviously a huge celebration. You kind of went crazy. Your teammates kind of went crazy. Was that kind of an emotional release just from the last few weeks of play, or is from last night, or what was that?
just from last night where, like, we know we dropped the ball last night and for 30 minutes or so, like, this game was kind of all over the place. And there's throughout the course of the season, like, you can go through different dry spells and, like, we're second in the West and we're fine. Like, we obviously know we have to play better if we're going to try to win a championship, but there are different ways to lose basketball games. And last night didn't sit well with any of us. We had a good talk in our pregame meeting about what we need to do. There's always that uneasiness of, like, knowing what you have to do and then going out and doing it and then dealing with adversity in the game that you're trying to show up and trying to bounce back. And that's what tonight was. And even down, I think it was 9 when Garrison hit the and 1-3. And we came back in 3 straight stops, 3 straight buckets. They call a timeout. We're down 2. Like, that's when the vibe started to pick up, and proud of the way we handled that because could have folded. And we didn't, and everybody contributed to that. It wasn't just my shot. Like, the fact that I had a chance to win it was because everybody stayed locked in, stayed focused, and competed. That's a great sign in terms of what we're trying to build on.
And are you just going to play 39 minutes or more every game now?
The good news is I feel great. I know it's not ideal for coaching staff, but I feel great. So probably the most I've played in a back-to-back in a long time, but coming out of it feeling fantastic. Get ready for Sunday, try to play better. Kind of what it required tonight.
You guys had at one point in the third quarter there, it seemed like you and Jordan kind of put something together that gave you guys a little bit of juice. Do you recall that? Because it was a pretty tight game all the way through, but at that point you hit a couple, he hit a couple. Did you sense at that point that, okay, that we're starting to pull things together?
Yeah, it's just, again, staying aggressive because, like I said, I don't know what I was, like, 1 for 11 or 12 at one point. He started out the game, JP started out the game well, but kind of a game went away from him for a while. And those are moments where you just have to have some type of life and some type of energy. And he's so capable of playmaking and knocking down shots and getting to his spots. And even the shots he missed, like, he was aggressive and assertive. And we've been talking about that since Clay's been back. So it's a great sign of how he's being intentional about how, he needs to play. Because, games like tonight where nothing's going your way, you got to kind of manifest it yourself. And in the big picture of the season, his role changed and going away from him, you have to manifest, impact. And he did that tonight.
Steph, how would you describe the season you're having? I mean, do you feel like it's been up to your standards? It certainly seemed like you were.
It's a trick question because it's not. Shooting the ball was like, I know I got to shoot the ball better, and I want to shoot it better, and I'm going to shoot it better. Everything else I feel pretty good about in terms of overall impact. So I obsess over the shooting numbers because that's what I do and that's what I work on. And when you don't reach those levels, it is frustrating, but that's not the only part of the game of basketball. And again, you want to be as efficient as possible, but you also want to win games, and whatever it takes to do that, that's the most important. You'd like to have it all, but that's the most important.
I guess you kind of answered the second part of my question, was how much do you notice the numbers? Because you obviously set a very high standard, but the numbers are significantly below your career averages, as you know. Do you read much into that? Do you pay attention? Do you...
Yeah, you have to. I mean, it's not because anybody else is saying it. It's because, like you said, it's what the standard I hold myself to. So, I know I can do it and sustain it, no matter how many years I've been doing it. So, that's the challenge, I guess, is to be aware of it, continue to be aggressive. Understand there's a lot of season left, and want to peak at the right time, but I do obsess over that stuff because it's your craft. You want to be great at what you do. And like I said, the work will show up eventually.
And I guess the last part of my question is, why do you think the numbers are down?
Just missing shots. Like, I think somebody told me that my open shots are like 6 or 7% lower than what they usually are. There's no reason other than just missing shots. Like, again, I obsess over it, but I don't panic. Or if I did, I wouldn't be shooting as much as I am trying to get myself through it. So that won't ever change.
Any Michael Jordan flashback with that shot, the Brian Russell, Utah, get to the free throw line?
I love y'all so much. What?
Right, hey, say Steph real quick.
Oh my God.
Yeah, just two. We got to take care of the guy who
Y'all
might have wrote a book.
I freaking love
two
it.
Zooms, Marcus and then Christos. Go ahead, Marcus.
Steph, you found yourself in a ISO situation at the end of the game. Did it feel like it's been a while since you saw that? And what did you think of what was the decision that led to the mid-range look instead of a drive or a three or whatever the options were?
First part, I've had those situations a couple of times. I can't remember exactly when, but it's always a decision when you have ISO in space. Most of the time it's in transition where we don't call a timeout. There's usually a double team coming, and you either have to feel like you got to force something up or make the right play and get rid of it. I've probably done the latter a lot more than going rogue and trying to heave something up over two people. But dead ball situation, learning our lesson from last night, trying to kind of maybe get a little too cute with a lot of different actions. It was a great play to draw up. With 5 seconds, it's hard to know for the defense, know to which side to double. And, once you get it, like I said, just stay calm. And he was pressed up a good amount. So when I got to, kind of do the jab over move to the middle, it was just a matter of picking where I wanted to stop and knowing I was going to get to a step back to create space and just, again, living with that shot, knowing that I had a clean look. So it felt good.
All right, last one for Christos. Go ahead, Christos.
Steph, the way for you guys to bounce back after tough losses, tough nights, how special made this team, and what was the most special part of tonight's win from your perspective?
I mean, everything that went into it. Like I said, get to that last possession to have a shot, to win it. The resiliency we showed on both ends of the floor, the last 18 minutes of the game, everybody contributing. And celebration at the end was great because it was like a good relief to get this win because nobody wanted to, feel like we did last night. So it's one game. It's a big win. All things considered, got to do it again on Sunday.
No practice tomorrow.